Hey there guys, Chris at the Ultimate Recycler. Time for a worm test, and this time watermelon. Now most people that have had worms or have been on the worm Facebook groups or something will be well aware that watermelon is one of the favourites of worms, so there's going to be no mystery here. But a few of you new guys or people just curious might be interested to know just how much worms like watermelon. So we're going to do a test. This is one that we've home grown, and it had a bit of rot into one side of it when we picked it, and it looked like it had dried out a bit, and it's been in the fridge for a couple of days and it's kind of shriveled back a bit. So rather than just throw it into the compost, let's do a worm test on it and actually show you guys how much they like watermelon. So I've got one of my usual test spots here. I've just lifted all the carpet off it, dug through it a little bit. It's quite damp, it probably needs a little bit more moisture. But there are plenty of worms in here. They've been eating a whole range of things. I did a test in here a little while back. I forget what the test was on, but there was a bit of Hessian bag that have been eating, and that was all that was left around the edge. So it's a good spot to put the watermelon in. We'll level it off and we'll place the watermelon in here, and we'll come back in about a week's time and just see what's going on. Okay, it's been 8 days. Hope you've all had a good week. Let's check on this watermelon. Now I've got this large old quilt over the top here. It just helps keep the moisture in and stops things drying out. Although it hasn't been very hot here, it's actually been quite mild the last week, and we've had quite a bit of rain. So let's get that all out of the road and we'll lift up the carpet. Now I did slice the watermelon up just a little bit after you last saw it. So let's see if the worms have got in. Oh, look at that. There's lots of little springtails, but the worms have not only got in, but they've pretty well taken all the watermelon in a week. There's only really the skin left. Look at that. They absolutely love this stuff. Let's lift out a bit of carpet. Yeah, look, they've pretty well just gutted it. There's only the shell left. It'd be interesting to look under this bit. But I'll get my little rake here. So all the flesh of the watermelon's pretty much gone, only really the skin left. And if we have a little dig in here, they're just reveling in it. Let's look under this one. Now this has only been a week, as I say, about 8 days. And look at that. If there's any doubts about worms liking watermelon, they should be well and truly quashed. Now let's get under this big bit. This was, I think, the end slice. And there you go. Fantastic. So I noticed a couple of watermelon seeds in here. I wonder if we'll actually grow some plants. But those worms look beautifully big and healthy. And lots of them. And they've taken the flesh straight out of that watermelon in only a week. There's only really the shell left. They're still working on it. So we'll leave it another week and see if they get rid of the skin or the shell or the outer casing of the watermelon. Obviously the springtails and various other little bugs are getting involved as well. But that just goes to show how quickly worms can demolish a watermelon. I think I saw once someone did a sped up version, like a time lapse. I might have been a pumpkin, but yeah, it would be interesting to see the worms demolish a watermelon in fast motion. I might do that one day. Anyway, there you go. That's what they're doing. They're loving it. So we'll leave it another week. Now, perhaps the question might be, why do worms really like watermelon as opposed to a lot of other things? And I was pondering that, and I haven't done any reading on it, but I think it might be a matter of the sugars, and because watermelon isn't very dense, there's quite a lot of air in it. I think probably the combination of the bacteria being able to get into the sugars and lots of oxygen, which always promotes bacterial growth, and the more bacteria you get, the more the worms move in, because that's what they feed on. So that would be my theory. Feel free to add any comments underneath if you know a bit more about it or you've studied up on watermelon. So I'll put this back over. It's nice and damp. As I said, we've had a fair bit of rain. And the next week, it's not supposed to rain for the next week, but it is supposed to stay fairly mild. So we're into autumn now, so we shouldn't have any more hot days. So I'll check it again in a week and see what's left. So guys, the second week has gone by. Well, let's see if there's anything of the watermelon left. Now, it's been quite warm lately and I haven't actually been out here to water this, but I think this large quilt will be doing its job to keep the moisture in. It feels quite damp. So the worm should be fine. Oh, that's not good. That's a flatworm. Need to get rid of those things. Apparently they prey on worms. Okay, but the worms are in here. Look at that. There's virtually nothing left. They've demolished the skin. It's thick with them. Oh, that's the biggest piece there. Let's turn it over. I would imagine it's really only paper thin now. Yep, look at that. Just the last bits. And they're eating that away as well, because you can see these are just about vanished. There's holes all through it. So 2 weeks and these little guys have pretty much totally demolished a watermelon. And look at them, they're nice and thick and healthy. Very happy little wormies. And look, that's like paper. So that's all that's left. So there you go, just so you know, worms absolutely love watermelon. And if you want to give them a treat, that would be my choice. There's also lots of springtails in here. But in 2 weeks, pretty much the entire watermelon's gone. So thanks for watching. I'll do some more worm tests coming up soon. Bye.